Hey everyone, today we are in the Henrietta area out in the country. There's nothing out here but grasshoppers and locusts and wind. But we're here to pay our respect to a rodeo legend, and he is a big one. So this cemetery really is in the middle of nowhere. This is the part of Oklahoma where it gets a little hilly and there's a lot of trees. And this cemetery is out in the middle of the country. Now, Oklahoma is a big rodeo state. I know that there's several that are like that. There are a lot of cowboys that come from here in the rodeo world. And it just has to do with the cattle that are here, the horses that are here, and the culture that's always existed here. And this is a pretty good sized cemetery here. And you can see that cowboy theme on numerous markers within this cemetery. And I thought I would show you this one right here. This is Tuffy Timmy. And this is a young one. It says, "God bless our little cowboy Tuffy." Dean William Longan, February 25th, 1977 to September 13th, 1986. Pretty neat little picture there in his cowboy hat, brush popper shirt, I guess, and a big belt buckle and Wrangler jeans. But you can see this theme throughout the cemetery, but this is who we came to see right here. Jim Shoulders. Now, if you don't know who he is, it obviously says there, a cowboy for all eras, 16 times world champion, bareback bull riding all around. May 13th, 1928 to June 20th, 2007. And there's a photo of him here. And you can hopefully see that. I know there's a reflection on my leg there. Let me move. But you can see a cow back there. I think that's a Hereford bull right back there, breed of a particular type of cow, but he's all dressed up and ready to ride right there. And it's a really neat memorial for him here. It's got this Old West font here, and next to him is where his wife will be laid to rest. It's an older picture of Jim with his wife, Sharon. But it is a neat looking marker, very impressive. Jim Shoulders was a professional rodeo cowboy who was one of the greatest of all time. He is often referred to as the Babe Ruth of rodeo. He was born on May 13th, 1928 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He grew up as a city boy and had no experience at all with livestock. After watching his first rodeo at the age of 14, he promptly entered one. It was clear that he had natural talent when he won $18 in bareback riding. Jim improved his skills by getting on bareback horses, bulls, and occasionally saddle broncs. Before he graduated high school, he joined the Cowboys Turtle Association. During his first year as a pro, he won $7,000. In 1949, at the age of 21, he won his first world title. He would go on to win 15 more world titles. For about 10 years, he was almost unbeatable. He was a fierce competitor and had an exceptional ability to withstand pain and keep on competing. In fact, one of his greatest times of fighting through the pain came when he broke his hand on one ride and then switched to the other hand and won a world title. His 16 world titles stood as a record for quite some time. He is currently in third place for the most titles ever won. Reader's Digest once characterized him as the businessman on a bull because he had won so much money. He has been inducted into numerous halls of fame throughout the country. After he retired from competing in the rodeo, he became a pro rodeo stock contractor. One of his most prized bulls was Tornado, who was ridden in 1967 by Freckles Brown. Jim died of heart disease in his sleep at age 79 on June 20th, 2007. Now, like I said, you can see the common theme of this cowboy culture that's out here. This one just simply has the name around it. There's a Bible verse up top, Romans 8:38-39. But you can see the rope around the names, the last name, and some neat markers in here, really. This is Charles Anthony Weeks, and there is an Army service photo there, and a motorcycle down below, March 3rd, 1952 to January 22nd, 2011. And here we have Jesse Burt Curran, June 9th, 1928 to June 9th, 1989. You can see a Navy photo there. He was a sailor, loved by all. This is continuing some of the cowboy theme here. This is Timothy M Hicks, September 4th, 1968 to May 26, 1989. And at the bottom, it says his entry fee has been paid. And you can see that he was a bull rider. Probably influenced and inspired by Jim Shoulders, who's in this cemetery. Pretty neat to see that. I like this one right here. This is Jerry Wade Minyard, and it says beloved father, and then there is another language up top, which I'm going to guess because of the area that we're in that could be Seminole, and I'm going to butcher it, and I do not mean to, just trying to show you what it says. But Erke Vinokes K. March 24th, 1942 to May 19th, 2000. Our love goes with you and our souls wait to join you. And he was probably a big deer hunter here. You can see a photo of him there. And there's feathers up there, and there's a depiction of a famous piece of art that sits at the National Cowboy and Heritage Museum that's in Oklahoma City. But that is the end of the trail, and there is a warrior that is ridden, and he is worn out and tired, and then the horse is tired as well. But it's pretty eye-catching to see that here. This one's a pretty neat one. This is Arnetta Owens and Bertie Owens, and they just kind of have an old wheel that's been placed here in the middle of them. Sort of an Old West nod, I guess. It's a metal wheel, but it's meant to last here. Pretty neat to see, though. So I'm now at the very back of the cemetery, and check out this view. This really is a good view. It kind of dips down here into almost like a little valley. It is beautiful, though. A lot of markers in here that have no names, and they're just marked by pieces of pottery, rocks, cinder blocks, homemade markers, stuff like that. Mary Wilson, and she passed away in 1943. She was born in 1859. So some older markers in here for sure. These are pretty interesting here. They're just some stacked bricks with a pole back behind it, like as if a place to place flowers or a flag. There are no names on these bricks, but there is this marker in front of them, and I cannot depict anything out of that. It looks like a T on the right, but I don't know what that is on the left. Maybe rose down at the bottom in marbles, but it's very colorful and pretty unique. It's a homemade marker, but I like that. I haven't seen very many like that in a cemetery. Just now noticed this crepe myrtle here that someone's placed as a memorial between these two markers, and of course a branch has broken off. It's just kind of laying here. This is a country cemetery, so I'm not sure how often it gets mowed. I can see little bits and places where family members have mowed their own little plot areas, but I thought we would move that off of here. So this crepe myrtle has completely broken off, and the grass has grown around it. We'll just move this to the side off of these memorial markers here, and just kind of show a little respect to an area that probably doesn't get very many visitors. We can move this to the side, and if there are any caretakers, they can certainly come and pick it up. Looks like it's a recent break, as everything is still sort of got some green on it and some flowers. We'll move these little sticks here too. Like to always encourage you guys that if you see stuff like this and you're able to just pick it up and move it, especially when you're in these little country cemeteries like this. If you're able to and you have the time, just move it. Doesn't take much time or energy, and just showing a little respect to people. Something I feel that we're missing in the world today. I don't know these people. I don't have any relatives in this cemetery, but Bessie Dudley, September 8th, 1888 to October 16th, 1953. And that is in between John V. Dudley, and he is January 17th, 1886 to December 29th, 1954. And I'm not going to get in there too much. There's some bees on the crepe myrtle that I'm not scared of, but there are some spider webs, and I really don't want to carry a spider home in the car. But like I said, just thought we would show a little bit of respect. Oh, I missed one here. I see that one, and I see that one there too. It's a lot bigger. It actually looks like, see there, even though I'm moving, I got one of those nasty stickers. I don't know if those are where you're at, but we'll move it, then we'll pull it out. But you can see where they've mowed, and they've mowed around that particular overgrowth area. So it's just kind of a hindrance. And if you're gonna mow around, you can mow around this area right here. Woo, look at that sticker. Much easier to pull out when you got two hands here. But anyways, hopefully it'll make it a little bit easier whenever they mow. I'm sure that this doesn't get mowed very much, and whoever does it is probably doing it out of the goodness of their heart. And a cemetery this size, it takes more money and time than you would think to mow all this. And here's some of the regular just field markers, field stones that are marking some graves. And some of these are so old and so thin that you really got to be careful when you're mowing. So if you see any obstacles that are down like that, it's already hard enough for these caretakers to mow. So like I said, I think it is a cemetery that's cared for. It's just, like I said, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. There are a lot of interesting markers. If you're ever in Henrietta, stop by and take a look around. So thanks for joining me on this little cemetery visit to visit one of the rodeo legends, Jim Shoulders. If you didn't know who he was, hopefully you do now. As always, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you guys next time.